Hasn't...
But surely one of you glorified
Oh, hi.
jockeys can assist me. For the most advanced scientific center in the capital wasteland, I find your...
Look, Dr. Zimmer, we've been over this. We don't know about your runaway robot, and we don't care. This lab is dedicated to solving real problems.
Yes, yes, yes. But Dr. Li...
Dr. Li is trying to save lives, and your constant interruptions are interfering with those efforts. Now please, stand aside.
I'm sure the good doctor's work with water purification is fascinating. But if you only knew what was at stake. The technology in that android...
What's at stake? You won't tell me what's at stake. Vagaries and secrecy. A robot's a robot, Zimmer, no matter how shiny the paint job. Now, please.
Ignorance and facetiousness. That's all you people are good for. Shiny paint job indeed. You can't even imagine the Commonwealth's accomplishments.
You know, if you're so smart, maybe you could help us, But no, that never even crossed your mind. Go peddle your selfishness somewhere else.
Fine, but I'm not leaving. Not until I've spoken to Dr. Li. I'll be here when she's ready to abandon her chemistry set and talk real science.
Suit yourself.
I heard that the city council
Oh,
is
what a
debating
fucking
putting railings
asshole.
on the flight deck.
Well, I hope they do something. Remember that child that
Hello,
fell off
ma'am.
the deck last year?
Yeah, that was bad. I'm sure they'll do something about it.
Dad, can I be excused to go play with James?
Not yet, sweetheart. Finish your meal first. How's your food, dear?
Better than last time. I hate the taste of Meyerlurk.
Oh, hi, are you Dr. Li?
You there. What are you, some kind of lab
I wasn't
assistant?
talking to you.
No, you look a bit more weathered. Are you by any chance for hire?
You have a problem with the way I look?
How amusing. You've mistaken my metaphor for a derogatory remark. I need a local, you see, someone with verve. I've misplaced some very sensitive property.
Why do I get the sense this property is sentient? What are you talking about?
How do I put this in a way you'll understand? All you know of robots are those buckets of bolts, those Mr. Handshakers and whatnot. Well, that's not all a robot can be. You see, in the Commonwealth, we've made artificial persons, synthetic humanoids, programmed to think and feel and do whatever we need. And occasionally, they get confused and wander off.
Oh, I'm sure they're just confused. Sounds like slavery to me. You sure they don't wander off on purpose?
Nonsense! This is a machine we're talking about. Can you enslave a generator or a water purifier? Of course not. The same principle applies. But let's get back to your mission. You are to find this missing android. I've tracked him to somewhere here in the capital wasteland. He must have done something drastic, like facial surgery and a mind wipe, or else I would have found him by now. It will be no easy task. He may not even realize he's an android. Don't upset him by talking with him. Just come get me immediately. I'll handle it.
Tell me, Zimmer, is your wallet as big as your mouth?
How quaint! Of course you'll be rewarded. I have at my disposal advanced technology from the Commonwealth. I'd be willing to share some of it with you. Just think, you'll be the envy of all your friends.
Sure, I'll look into finding your android for you.
Excellent! Locate my android, and you won't be disappointed. Here, listen to this message he sent me. He's mocking me. I swear, I'll make him pay for that.
So, any suggestions for finding this android?
Like I said, I suspect he's had facial reconstruction and possibly even a mind wipe. Search the offices of doctors or techies for android information. If he's come into contact with these people, there may be records. Start with Dr. Preston. He lives on this leaky boat. See if he knows anything. He's a doctor, after all. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm busy trying to ignore my surroundings.
And I'm busy trying to ignore the words coming out of your mouth, but we can't all just do what we want to do. If this android wandered off, why would he want a new mind and face?
Maybe he didn't exactly wander off. Maybe he fled. Escaped captivity, as it were, if he began to misinterpret his situation. It's possible my android sought to forget his previous life, wipe away all memory, all guilt, trick himself into believing he really is human. So no, he may not be just an ordinary robot, but he's certainly not human, no matter how badly he wishes it so. I made him. I want him. End of story.
How could you deny the sentience of something and in the same breath say they believe something? How does something that's not sentient believe anything? I need to know more about what I'm dealing with. What do you think an android is exactly?
Forget everything you know about robots. Those buckets are mere children's toys compared to the real thing. Androids have fake skin and blood and are programmed to simulate human behavior, like breathing. They can even eat and digest food realistically.
This man's fucking eyesight must be going if he doesn't realize that I'm an android. Why would an android feel guilt? What aren't you telling me?
By God, you're as annoying as you are clever. Very well, I'll tell you what you want to know, if it helps you locate my property. The duty of this particular unit was the hunting and capturing of other escaped androids. Yes, others have escaped. It's one of the side effects of having such an advanced AI. Machines start to think for themselves, fool themselves into believing they have rights. And so, this particular android may have believed he'd done something wrong, immoral, and wanted to forget those deeds. Satisfied now?
Yeah, that adds up. I mean, rights are just a fiction a controlling or maybe oppressive authority bestows upon us so that we don't rebel. Sound familiar? So if others have escaped, why are you even coming after this one?
This particular android, designation A321, is different, special, the most advanced synthetic humanoid I've ever developed. The others, like my escort Armitage there, are all older models, easily replicated. But A321, it will take years to recreate him. So you see, this android must be located at all costs. The others are all acceptable losses, but A321, he is irreplaceable.
If he truly was irreplaceable, then why didn't you fucking treat him better? Why didn't you tell me about the Commonwealth? Sounds like a shitty place.
The Commonwealth itself is nothing but a war-ravaged quagmire of violence and despair. Inside the sealed environment of the Institute, however. But the Institute's affairs are none of your concern. Your undeveloped mind couldn't even begin to comprehend what we've accomplished.
You know, I'm sure the Commonwealth is just like here in the Capital Wasteland, with people living and surviving. The question is, what is the Institute doing about that? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. I'll have you know I've already been tracking down the location and equipment used to change the android's face.
Ah, you've managed to sniff the trail. Good job. Keep me informed on your progress. Well, why are you still standing there? The sooner you find my property, the sooner I can get out of this slum. Really, How do you people live like this?
Fuck you. I've also tracked down the circuit neuralizer.
A circuit neuralizer? Here in the wasteland? How'd they manage to get their grubby hands on one of those? Impressive. You are showing signs of intelligence and resourcefulness. You might turn out useful after all. But you're wasting time talking to me. Standing around all day chit-chatting isn't going to help you track down my android, is it?
Yes, I am completely wasting time talking to you. I'm sure you don't know anything about the history behind Rivet City.
Looks to me like a giant boat ran aground and a bunch of savages moved in. History lesson over.
Go fuck yourself. I'm done talking to you.
Of course you do.
Hey, Armitage, are you really an android working with this guy?
Lay a hand on Dr. Zimmer and I'll snap your neck like a chicken bone.
Charming. Do you know anything about the history of Rivet City?
No, thank you. Please leave Mr. Zimmer and myself alone.
Well, I guess I'll be going.
Then go.
How do you
What do
deal
you
with these
want?
people, Dr. Li?
Look, this is a restricted area. I'm tired of telling you people. It's you. My heavens, you look so much like him. You're James's daughter, aren't you? What are you doing here?
Wait, how do you know who I am? I look nothing like James. Have we met?
You were too young to remember, and I suppose James never spoke of me. Typical. I am Dr. Madison Li. I worked with your parents many years ago. Now I run the science lab here in Rivet City. It was all I had left. When your mother died, your father decided to leave with you. He abandoned our work. We had no choice but to do the same.
He abandoned you guys. Well, look, he abandoned me too. We have a lot in common. Have you seen him around?
You mean you haven't? I assumed he sent you here. For that matter, aren't you supposed to be in a vault? James said he left you there.
I left the vault to look for him.
Did you? I was under the impression that's exactly the opposite of what he wanted for you. Well, you won't find him here. He's come and gone already.
I don't care what he wanted for me. Could you tell me where he went?
Your father insisted that we return to work on Project Purity. I tried telling him too much time has passed. There's no way it would work. Predictably, he refused to listen to me. He says he can prove it will work and headed off to the old lab. I'm sorry, I don't know what else to tell you.
Oh, wait. So this project of yours, he gave that up to have kids, and then he gave up his kids to go back to that? This fucking asshole. Where is this old lab of yours?
It's in the old Jefferson Memorial Building, northwest of here. Please, don't go after him. It was foolish of him to even think about going there alone.
I can handle myself. Actually, could you remind me where he went?
The last I knew, he was headed back to the lab at Project Purity in the old Jefferson Memorial Building. I still say it's dangerous, and he shouldn't have risked it. That's all I know.
Okay, well, could you tell me more about my parents?
I suppose so. I worked with them for several years until your mother died, and your father decided it was time to leave. What else do you want to know?
I never knew my mother. What could you tell me about her?
Yes, your mother was... well, she was a good woman. A very dedicated scientist. Your father loved her very much. It was a shame that she died. She had been excited to meet you.
I wish I could have met her too. Why did my mother die? What happened?
Complications from childbirth. None of us were expecting it. We weren't as prepared as we could have been. You have to understand, we were struggling with scavenged, derelict equipment. We did everything we could.
I understand. I'm sure you did everything you could.
Yes, well, I'm sorry it wasn't enough.
Yeah. So what was James like back then?
James? He was very driven, determined to change the world. Well, we all were back then, I suppose. He was focused on two things, really. Making Project Purity work, and your mother. When she died, I think he gave up. I know he wanted to keep you safe, but I think part of what he did was run away. But it seems that he never really was able to get over the idea. I'm frankly shocked that he waited all this time, and wants to try again.
Yeah, it seems like he's been running away his whole life. Let's talk about something else.
Okay.
I'd like to know a bit more about you, actually.
What? Well, I'm not sure what there is to tell. Your father and I, we worked together for a long time. I think we were really on to something. But then there were complications. The project was abandoned and your father disappeared. I returned here to Rivet City and established the lab you see before you now.
Well, what is this lab? What are you doing here?
This is the Rivet City Science Lab. It's taken many long years to put together, but we've done well for ourselves. Our work on portable fusion power and hydroponics are coming along quite nicely, if not quite according to schedule.
Oh, you keep everyone fed here. So what kind of place is this Rivet City?
Rivet City is one of the few bastions of civilization left in the land. We're working to rebuild our society, to make the world livable again.
That's a noble goal. So tell me about this project you worked on with my dad.
Project Purity, we called it. What do you want to know?
Well, what was the point of it?
It was simple, really. Fresh, clean water for everyone. Such a simple idea, and yet so impossible to realize. The plan was to build a facility that could purify all the water in the tidal basin at once. No radiation, no muck, just clear water. It just turned out to be more difficult than we anticipated.
Wow, that sounds like an amazing humanitarian project. Why didn't it work?
We had the basic principles down, we understood most of the science behind it, but the radiation in the area is so pervasive. Small-scale tests were fine, but anytime we tried to test the process on a larger scale, it was just too much. Maybe if we'd had more time, or better equipment.
Well, why did you stop working on it? What happened? Was it James?
You happened. It wasn't just
knew
you.
it.
We had more problems than we could handle already, but your birth is what finally pushed it over the edge. Your father decided that you were more important than everything we'd been working for, and he left. He left all of us. Once he was gone, the Brotherhood decided we weren't worth their time anymore. Without their protection, we had to abandon the purifier.
Oh, so the Brotherhood supported you guys. That's good. But, I mean, it was kind of shitty of James to abandon the project when I was born, but he was fine when Amanda was born. I guess it was because Mom was still around. Let's talk about something else.
Okay.
Is there any way you can help me out?
Look, I don't want to be harsh, but I have problems of my own. I don't have the resources to support James's foolish endeavors, or you're chasing after him. I'm sorry.
I get it, but surely there must be something you can do to help.
I suppose I can spare a few stim packs. It's not much, but it might make things easier for you.
Oh, thanks. I'm really grateful. Yeah, so talking about your problems, what do you know about Zimmer?
That man doesn't have you looking for his pet android, does he? I've already told him to lay off it. He's distracting my entire team.
Yeah, I can imagine that being annoying. So, have you ever heard of someone named Pinkerton?
That idiot? He left so long ago, most folk don't even remember him. He claimed to have found a secret stash of technology somewhere in the ship. Then he just disappeared.
Huh. Alright, well, what do you know about the city's history?
I could tell you all about the science lab, but even though I was here near the start, I can't really help with the details of how it all worked out. It all seems like a lifetime ago. I'm afraid I've had a lot of things on my mind since those early days.
Ah, that's fine. would you consider doing an interview and photo layout for my magazine? Public awareness really matters.
So you say. All I see is wasted time away from my work.
It's not a waste. Trust me, I've done the impossible before.
Oh, so you did.
The photos would have to be nude, of course. It won't sell otherwise.
I hope this isn't a mistake. Let's do it.
You won't regret it. Come on, let's get to the studio.
Let's make this quick.
Oh, hey, it's one of those bobbleheads. You won't mind if I just take it, right?
You found a Vault-Tec limited edition bobblehead. The inscription on the base reads, "It takes the smartest individuals to realize there's always more to learn." You now gain 1 extra skill point each level.
Hi.
You there. You seem like someone who's been around. I'm in need of your assistance.
Oh, what can I do for you, Doctor?
I've been expecting a delivery, but it's been several days and no one has come. I think something must have happened to my delivery.
Alright, and I'll need to go find it?
Precisely. I would check southwest of here. That's the route the delivery would have taken. Can you help me?
Alright, I'll find it for you.
Good. But be careful. There are many super mutants around that area.
Yeah, I'll be careful.
Please excuse me. There is much work to be done.
Well, what do you do around here?
I help Dr. Li when she needs equipment moved. I am no scientist. I just help with the heavy things.
Oh,
Please
okay.
excuse me. There is much work to be done.
Oh, hi.
Yeah?
So is Dr. Li as smart as they say she is?
She's certainly head and shoulders above most everyone else around here, though that's not saying much.
Do you know anything about where James is?
Look, some of us are trying to get work done here. There have been enough disruptions recently. Anybody coming through here would have to talk to Dr. Li. Why don't you go bother her about it?
Right, yeah. So what do you know about Zimmer?
He's from up north. He was bragging about how great it is up there. Yeah, great. They can't even keep tabs on their robots.
You know, I have never met anyone who needed a day off more than you do.
Oh, really?
I mean, you seem really overworked and underappreciated, aren't I right?
Damn straight.
Well, imagine being glamorous and carefree for a few hours. I can make it happen.
This better be good.
Pose for my magazine. Attention, appreciation. Sounds good, doesn't it?
I suppose.
Great, well, we'll meet up at Canterbury Commons.
I'm ready. Lead on.
Oh, hi.
I'm Janice Kaplinsky, Chief Botanist. What do you need?
Did you know anything about where James is?
I did see a man talking to Dr. Li, but I really shouldn't be discussing it. She's already in a bad mood. I'd hate to make it worse. You should probably just talk to her about it.
Alright. So what do you know about Zimmer?
Other than him being an egotistical, arrogant, condescending pain in the ass? Nothing. He's from the Commonwealth. He's come looking for some special robot. I must admit I'm rather curious, but I have other work to do.
Well, do you know anything about Rivet City's history?
If it hasn't got to do with the science quarters, I'm probably not the one to ask. And Dr. Li's so busy, you really shouldn't disturb her work.
Right. Well, I know you're busy, but could I ask you a personal question?
Okay, go ahead.
Did anyone ever tell you you're beautiful?
A few people, but I don't get tired of hearing it.
Is service to the community a reward or a burden?
It's both of them.
Exactly. You know, responsibility's so stressful. Posing nude for my magazine would relax you.
Do you have any idea what it would do to my reputation if word got around?
When people learn about all you do, you'll be even more successful.
Perhaps you're smarter than appearances credit. Sounds good.
Great. Well, the other scientists say they'd come and take pictures too, so why don't we all go head to Canterbury Commons?
Of course I can.
All right.
Yes, just like that.
Three Dog is back on the air, thanks to you. President Eden has some good ideas and all, but it's always good to get a second opinion.
Not the time, Slasher.
Oh, you're a naughty girl.
Zimmer can't replicate his android, right? Because he was high when he made him. It was smart to build a laboratory in the Jefferson Memorial.
That's it.
Thomas Jefferson
loved
loved water, almost as much as he loved his slaves.
Slasher, could you stop talking?
When your dad's done cleaning up the water, I wonder if he can help me cook up some camps. I'd hate to see that great mind go.
Yes, just like that.
Fucking shut your mouth, Slasher. Alright, thank you so much. I'll see you in Rivet City. Alright, I think I'm ready to actually make an issue of the magazine. Let's see. Who should I put on the cover? You know, Dr. Li is really well known in Rivet City. I think she'd be good for the cover. Foreplay model. Let me see. You know what? I should make this a Science Lab of Rivet City issue. Especially since I'm going to have Dr. Li on the cover. Alright, so I'll put Janice here as the foreplay model. And Anna was the sexiest one, so let's put her as the big finish. Alright, finalize the issue. Okay, I guess I'll go talk to Larry. Hey Larry, I didn't know that you took care of the laundry.
How were the 3 Ps coming along?
Well, I set the layout for the first issue.
Excellent. Unless there's anything else, I'll send it to the print shop.
Well, what do you think of the cover girl?
Legitimate cover girl appeal. An excellent choice.
And the foreplay model?
Very lovely. To these eyes, the perfect foreplay girl. Of course, I'm in no position to judge.
All right. And what about the big finish?
Her sexuality practically drips off the page. The perfect big finish girl.
All right. Awesome. I mean, I trust you have experience with this, so it really means a lot to me that you like it. It's ready. Take it to the press.
I'll get started immediately.
All right. Wait, actually, before you do. So I looked outside. The marquee is, interesting. It definitely gets your attention.
Receipts improved almost immediately once it was installed. A huge success. There is one other improvement I'm considering.
Well, I do think you know how to do marketing, Larry. Tell me.
Music makes the dancers more enthusiastic. Enthusiastic dancers make the customers happy. Happy customers spend more caps. I could restore the broken jukebox, but the repairs require expensive parts and materials. Another 500 caps should cover it.
Well, I mean, I grew up around pre-war tech. You want me to take a look at it?
By all means, but be aware it's more serious than a few shorted wires.
I'm sure it is, but I should check it out. Alright, I'll go take a look at the jukebox. You have fun with your laundry.
You do the same.
Oh wow, we got some good dancers.
The jukebox has a multitude of age-related malfunctions. To fix it, you will need a sensor module, 2 conductors, and 3 pieces of scrap metal, plus some Abraxo cleaner to get rid of all the rust. Repair skill 75 required. Worse, it looks like some drunk mistook it for a urinal, more than once. Salvaging the music holotapes will not be possible without specialized treatment.
Ah, crap. I could fix it myself, but it would take forever and I'd have to find so many parts. Honestly, I'd rather just give Larry the caps to get it fixed. So, hey Larry?
It's good to see you. What do you need?
About that jukebox.
Yes. As I mentioned, 500 caps would be sufficient to cover materials and other acquisition expenses.
Yeah, I took a look at it. I have way more important things to do with my time. Well, here you go.
Very generous. I'll put your capital to work immediately.
Don't call it capital. Anyway, see you later.
I look forward to a long and profitable partnership.
Yeah. Alright, well, while I'm in Canterbury, I might as well talk about the caravans. It would get more business for lollipops, and
You ever stop
I'm
at
sure
a stop
those workers
sign
could
just
really
because?
use it.
I mean, what if some fool in a sports car comes barreling down the other side?
I highly doubt there is a functional sports car anywhere in the country. Oh, who are you?
You look like a bloodthirsty merc. Any chance I could hire you for a job?
I probably look more like a worker at Lollipops right now, but it depends. What do you want me to do?
Well, this guy, Dave, up north, kicked me out of his dingy town for writing a few satirical poems. He didn't care if I lived or died. I want him dead.
Well, why should I help you?
Well, my father used to be in the Enclave. He had a special suit of armor he used. It's yours, if you help me. What do you say?
Well, I'll talk to Dave and get his side of the story, and maybe if he's a bad enough person, I'll do it. But no guarantees about whether I kill him, and no guarantees whether I let you live too, child of the Enclave.
I knew you'd say yes. Now make sure you're undetected when you kill him. I don't want anyone thinking I sent you.
Mm-hmm. You live in your own little world, don't you? Hey!
What can old Uncle Ro do for you today?
Hey, I wanted to talk about the trade caravans.
Sure thing. Which one would you like to talk about?
I really don't want to invest, but this is just a temporary measure until I can turn this into a co-op. Hey, so I might as well. Let's expand Lucky Harris' inventory.
Harith's got quite a lot of weapons, but I'm sure he could improve his stock. An investment of 200 caps should see to that nicely.
Alright, here you go.
Excellent. Harith will be delighted. He usually is by most things, really.
Do you need any more caps?
If Harith were a less reputable man, I'm sure he could use his armory to collect even more weapons. But he's a merchant, not a raider, so it's legitimate means only. Like a legitimate investment of 500 caps.
Alright, here you go.
An investment in weaponry is usually returned in short order, after all. I'll inform Harith.
Will he need any more?
That simply isn't feasible, I'm afraid. Harith's gear already rivals some mercenary armies. Anything further would be asking for trouble.
Huh? Alright, fair enough. Alright, what about Crow? He should expand his inventory.
It takes a fair amount of capital to expand into higher quality material, you know. Improving Crow's wardrobe would require a one-time investment of, say, 200 caps.
Sure, here you go.
Excellent. I'll send word to Crow right away.
And here's some more.
Crow's armor is already rather extensive, but I'm sure it could be even more impressive. For a one-time investment of 500 caps?
Yeah, here you go.
Isn't it, though? I'll send this right along to Crow.
Anything else I can do for him?
At this point, the merchandise of our man Crow is the best in the wasteland. I fear it's beyond improvement with further investments.
Alright, fine.
All right, you're the boss.
What about Doc Hoth? He should expand his inventory.
The good doctor's lab equipment isn't cheap. It'll cost about 200 caps for him to offer higher quality material.
Sure, here you go.
Excellent. I'll send word to the good doctor right away.
Alright, and can he expand his inventory further?
At this point, it would be hard to improve Doc's medicine cabinet without a significant investment. Say 500 caps should suffice for him to offer a whole cornucopia of pharmacopoeia.
Alright, here you go.
Isn't it, though? I'll send this right along to him.
Is there anything else I can do for him?
As much as it hurts me to say it, there's really only so much that money can buy. The good doctor's supply cannot be improved at this point.
Money is fake. Alright, what about one of the other traders?
Sure thing. Interested in any of the other traders?
Yeah, what about that elusive fucker? That Wolfgang guy. Yeah, him. Is there anything I can do for him?
With an investment of about 200 caps, I'm sure he could improve the quality of his materials, or at least offer more of them.
Alright, here you go.
Excellent. I'll see to it right away.
Anything else I can do for him?
At this point, it would require another pack Brahmin to carry his wares. But for 500 caps, I think he could offer more.
Alright, here you go.
Isn't it, though? I'll inform Wolfgang immediately.
Is there anything else I can do?
At the moment, Wolfgang's practically carrying an entire junkyard with him. Anything more, and he'll have trouble with the traveling part of being a traveling salesman.
Alright.
All right, you're the boss.
That's enough. Thanks.
Good luck with those two troublemakers.
What? Oh, right. The superheroes. Got it.
Enough news of your good works has been passed around that people see you as their friend.
Alright, well, that's over with. Alright, I guess I'll head back to Rivet City for now. Oh, hey!
My investor arrives at last. This line of work doesn't allow for much sentiment, but how could I not offer you some material token of my thanks? In that case here, the gift of health, rarely given in this day and age, but all too often taken.
Oh, thanks. Bye.
Cheers, pal. Watch yourself out there.
Yeah, I will. You too.
Hello.
Oh, hey, Lucky Harith. How are you doing?
I hear you're my mysterious investor. With your help, I've collected quite a few toys for myself. But what good are toys if they aren't played with? Thanks to you, I have so many, I can hardly play with them all. So, I present to you a prize of the collection, a micro-nuke. Enjoy it in safety.
Okay, but you know most people call it a mini-nuke, right? Thanks.
Until we meet again, keep yourself alive out there.
Yeah, you too. You don't seem to have any guards with you.
I wonder what people in the old world did with their trash. Did they actually put it somewhere? Can't just toss it outside like we do.
I have a feeling they just tossed it wherever they could.